I normally just cry a little bit, but as time wears on, that cry is going to become a memory and a smile, and I'll be happy just seeing the picture and thinking of her.
Well, that's
And the
because
sorrow will just go away.
in many cases, those pictures have fond memories attached to them. So you remember the memories. And I would be remiss if I didn't mention that Mary is survived by her mother, who is 91 years old. All right, not an easy thing for a parent to bury a child at any age. Mary lost her dad only a couple of years ago, about 3 years ago, I think. She has two younger brothers and a younger sister, and I know that Allison was always looked up to her as her big sister, very devoted to her, and it's not easy for anybody. I mean, my wife and I were just a friend, okay? But I think of it more as family than friend. I mean, there was no in between with Mary. If Mary, when you came into this family as a friend, you were immediately adopted, as I said. I mean, weekends, the barbecues during the summer, okay? Going out to eat. And if I might interject, I know my wife probably wouldn't like this, but going out to eat with my wife, who used to send back every dish that was ever brought out to her because she wasn't satisfied. Okay. But I know she's not going to listen to the show, so I could say that without worrying about any repercussions, Felix.
I hope so.
Well, my joke with Ellen, and the boys know this. My joke with Ellen is always every kitchen in Oceanside has her picture hanging there and says, if this woman ever shows up, don't serve her. What can I tell you? But, her heart's in the right place, too. But with Meredith, I don't know. Felix, if she could put up with you for 41 years, she had to be a special.
She had to be practically a saint.
If Jewish people believed in saints, I think she'd be up there for sainthood.
That's why I said practically.
Yeah.
Because she can't be a saint, obviously.
Yeah.
Unless there's something up in heaven we don't know about.
Well, I don't know.
Maybe Moses and Jesus are joking around right now.
Well, we know one person who might dispute that with you, but,
Well, there are different people who have different beliefs. All we hope for is wherever she is, she's comfortable, and she can look down and see the grandchildren as they grow.
I always like to think of, the last song that was a hit by the Supremes, Someday We'll Be Together. And that's what every married couple or close friends who love each other, and one passes away, you only hope that in the future, at some point, that you can be together. I mean, it's what keeps many people going, and it just so happens that Mary's there before us. And usually in the Jewish religion, what you say is that, I believe it's a Shah Betrin. In other words, this person who passes away before you paves the way for you and waits for you at the gates so that when your time comes, they're there to welcome you with a big smile. And as I said when I eulogized my father, I eulogized both my parents, and I said, my mother looked at my father and said, Solly, what took you so long? Because my father died, about 10 or 11 years after my mother, and she just kept waiting and waiting for him. you know, as Merri will obviously be waiting for Felix, we just hope that that doesn't happen for a long time.
Well, hopefully there is no time.
Well, not in heaven.
Exactly. Uh,
What age would you like to be, Felix? If heaven was that kind of a place, what age would you like to be?
if before or after entering heaven,
Excuse me?
what age would I like to be?
Well, when you die, you could be any age you want. What would you like to be?
It doesn't matter.
You want to be your current age? Would you
Be,
like to shed a few years?
I could be my current age if I'm with my wife. I have no problem with that. If I had a chance to live for the rest of my, to live at a certain age while I'm alive, I'd go back. I only want to go back 10, 12 years and live then when my wife was healthy.
No, I certainly understand that.
And, I don't need to be younger or anything else, just be healthy enough to enjoy life with her. We enjoyed our life right to the end, even through everything that was happening. So,
well, I have to say that you people certainly traveled quite a bit. You have fond memories of vacations. Maybe you want to share some of those.
well, my wife and I both worked for the airlines, which gave us opportunities to do things possibly the other people who, because we were not that financially off, but because of the availability of reduced or free flights or getting discounts in hotels. I used to work for an airline that was called Eastern Airlines, and Eastern Airlines basically flew the East Coast down to the Caribbean and Bermuda. So we used to enjoy flying to Bermuda all the time. One of the most romantic, beautiful islands that I've ever had a chance to visit. And the last time we were able to travel, we traveled to Costa Rica. That's my second love. It was a beautiful, beautiful people, beautiful beaches. Everybody loved my wife there. The waitress or hostess in the hotel gave my wife a gift.
Wow.
We were departing. And one time she was there, and my wife said she really liked this particular dish. The girl went ahead and went to the chef and got the menu from her and translated it to English so she could make it at home. People always were taken by her in that way. They always just, people just loved her. It's, I mean, don't get me wrong. She could get honorary, but if she got honorary, whoever she got honorary with probably deserved it, which was me many times. But as we aged and we got older, and I guess my wife got weaker, we became more and more partners. She would need more help from me to do things, and she'd need more help as she got weaker. But to me, that was a joy to do whatever she needed. I loved taking care of her. I mean, there were times when she'd be in nursing home for 3 or 4 months. And I visited her just about every day and had dinner with her every day of those 3 or 4 months. I don't remember the times. Times and dates don't mean that much to me, but I do remember I would go to her when she was in Manhattan. I'd be there just about every day. Anytime anybody came to visit her, I'd be there. And that's because, not that I had to, it's because I wanted to. Well, I was happy just being with her, and I believe she was happy just being with me. And as things got, worse with her, and it got harder for her to do things, it got harder for me to do things also. But neither of us complained. We just say I love you, and she'd say she loves me. And we just smile, give each other a little kiss, a hug, and continue on with whatever we were doing, painful or not. We didn't, we really, in the last year or two, we didn't go out to restaurants, we didn't go out anywhere really. It was either be home or in the hospital, or in rehab, or wherever we were, but we really were not able to do much. But neither of us complained. We were just happy to be together. It's real simple. We just waited for the kids to visit us, our grandchildren, our friends. That's all we really needed. We didn't need anything else. We were just having our friends and family. That was it. What else could you? My brother occasionally came by and visited me. And Mark every Friday came by, talked to my wife for a while before we did our show.
Yeah, she certainly left the living room in a hurry when we were ready to start.
But that was life. Never, I don't think she ever complained to you.
No, she never did. Never did.
And then she'd go to bed and she'd ask for a pain medication. And she'd take it, smile, and feel better again. Seeing her pass away was very painful. There was no smile. She was just there.
When you
for 8 days in a coma.
When you talk about, I've mentioned to you, how my dad passed away. I'm not going to share that. This is your moment. But I will say that my sister said that when my dad passed away, his pressure had dropped tremendously, and he had a DNR like Mary, and there was a smile on his face, and my sister likes to think that maybe he saw my mother, and maybe in Mary's case, she saw her dad, welcoming her, Of course, I know that there are people out there who would say that these are all, fantasy wishes or whatever, but there are many people who do believe, that there is a heaven, and unlike the beginning of our show when the gentleman says there is no heaven, there is no hell, but that there is a heaven, and our loved ones will one day welcome us when our time comes.
And there are other people who believe you are reborn. Who knows? And of course, there are some of us who believe there's nothing. Who's right?
Well, let's put it this way. Even the great Houdini has never come back. And he said he was going to come back and show everyone.
At 100 years. Right, wasn't it?
No, he said he was going to, no, he was going to come back. No, because there were people who gathered at his gravesite every year. Oddly enough, he died on Halloween. And there were people who would gather at his gravesite. His real name was Eric Weiss. And he's never come back. So, look.
He wasn't that good a magician.
It is what it is. Maybe it's so great there that nobody wants to come back. Who knows?
Or maybe he came back, but with not